I'm Alexandra.
And I'm Doré.
And we are the founders of Musical Theatre Market. Today is day 2 of our vendor training course, and we are going to be covering logistics.
Preparation.
So your stock, your stand, anything else you need to prepare.
And then the things that you need to do after the event.
So first of all, stock. This is, I think, the biggest question that most people have if they've never done a market before. And I think if you have done a market before, it's just always the question, how much stock do I need to take? Do I take more of this and less of that? There is no correct answer. It's something that you'll figure out with time, or you'll get a better idea of with time. It's just a case of, I think for most people, packing as much as they can and seeing what happens. If you sell more of one thing unexpectedly and you run out, that's okay.
It's not a problem. It's not a problem to run out of stock.
No, it creates that sort of sense of urgency. Your products are in demand. People are after you, like what you are creating. So I think it's actually quite a good thing to sell out of a few items.
So, yeah, I mean, it takes about, if you do the same event 3 years running, or, if it's an annual event, you usually figure out for that specific event what a good stock level is. But it changes. If you do another event in another venue, then you're back to square one.
Exactly. So
So
don't panic.
Don't panic. Take what you can and make sure you have business cards available to give to people when you do run out of a certain product. The other thing is we would say count your stock before you go, so you know exactly what you have, and you can then compare it to what you have left at the end, and make sure that what you seem to have sold and what you've actually sold lines up.
Yeah, which carries on over to the next point of stock sheets. It's just a way of visually seeing how much you've sold.
And also you can quickly see on a stock sheet whether you're about to sell out of a product. If you have some of your products on display and some of your products in back stock under the table, it's not always to see how much you have left of something, whereas a stock sheet will inform you of that very quickly.
Exactly. And then the stand. So you want to practice your setup. This is I think the biggest top tip that you could ever get is to practice your stand setup. At home, create the space, put up the table, put up the banners. Don't go, oh yeah, that would probably work there. Put it all up. Make sure you know for certain so that you can move stuff around.
We mask out the size of the space that we have.
Using masking tape on the floor.
Yeah, with masking tape on the floor, like actual. Yeah. So that we can set it up, see
how much space you've got to move, stuff like that you don't necessarily think about. All these issues that crop up, you can deal with them there rather than on the day, so you're prepared. And ideally practice getting that time down if it does take you longer than 2 hours, because that's usually about the time you have to set up for smaller events.
Yeah, I'd say try and get that into a 2-hour window.
Also consider where your stand is within the venue. So is it against a wall? Is it in the corner? Is it back to back with another vendor? Is it in the middle? Those things affect how you may display your products, because how people will move around will be different based on where you are in the room. Have a plan in place that works within those confines.
Yeah, so if you normally used to having a wall and you might not have a wall at this event, what are you going to do? How are you going to adjust your stand to deal with that? The space you have available, you have different space available at different events. How do you need to adjust to deal with that?
Yeah. The next thing is take photos of your setup and share it with your team.
Oh, very good.
It's so helpful because even if the person doesn't help you practice the setup, they know where things are supposed to go. They know what it looks like. You can give them a job and say, I want it to look like this, and then they can go and do it. It's also helpful for you because there's usually time between practicing the setup and actually doing it. And on the day, there's so much panic happening. Just make it easier for yourself. You've literally got a map of where everything needs to go.
Especially if you're quite particular about certain items. Yeah. Certain items going in certain places, and which items should go next to other items because of the coloring or the theme or the whatever.
Exactly. And if you have someone helping with you, we highly recommend that they practice the setup with you. So the helpers that you'll have on the day will know what to do beforehand. Obviously, it's not necessary, but it is very, very helpful.
Creating a list of tasks and actions to allocate and share with your team. Now, having the list of tasks is extremely important and helpful so that you know that nothing is left undone.
Yeah.
What we found in the past is that with the best intentions, we kind of share out the tasks within the team.
Yeah.
But in the end, everybody ends up doing a bit of everything.
Everything gets done.
Exactly. But at least if you have a list, you know that everything gets done and nothing slips through the cracks.
Yeah. Just having an idea as well of who maybe can handle it. It can always change, but have that list. And also practice the takedown and pack up. So, like we said, you're practicing the setup, but you're practicing taking the things out of where they're coming from. You know, if you've brought suitcases or you've brought boxes, knowing where those items are coming from. Do the things that you need straight away, like the table, the tablecloth, are those things at the top of the box when you're taking them out? Because that will help your time. And also packing up, you usually have to pack up within a very set amount of hours. Even at huge conventions, usually you've got the day before to set up, but no matter where you go, you have to take down on that very last day. So make sure that you can get it down in time. Otherwise, that may be extra fees for you and for the people helping you.
And also taking down, it's easy to sometimes just chuck a bunch of things in the box. So make sure that when you setting down that you're not damaging your products.
Yeah, not damaging your products, not losing anything.
Exactly, making sure that your team also know how to rewrap your products or whatever needs to happen for them to go back into the box or the suitcase without being damaged.
Exactly. And while the stand is up, take notes of visuals and branding. It's a perfect way to see, is this the vibe I want to give off? Is it clearly me? You know, for the people that are coming to you from social media and whatever, will they be able to recognize you? Is this what you want to look like? Is this the branding you want to put out into the world?
Yeah, we're talking specifically now when you're doing your practice setup. Whilst your stand is up during the practice setup. What does it look like? Is it visually appealing? Is your branding clear?
Take that time to move stuff around.
Yeah.
If you've got keychains and you've put them up here and you're like, oh, but kids tend to buy these keychains. Sorry, if you put them up here, kids tend to buy these keychains. So it should really be eye level for them. Move stuff around, see if it creates a good visual, if it creates a good shopping experience.
Yeah.
And following on from that, I'm actually going to skip down. Let family and friends act as shoppers and get their opinions on optics. So is everything easily visible? Does it make sense to them? Do they feel like they can see your prices, see all your products, see all your options?
We do also, if you're not sure and you have done your practice setup and you'd like to send us some photos of your stand just to get our opinion on it, you're welcome to do that. You can just email it to hello@musicaltheatremarket.co.uk and we'll take a look and give you some feedback.
If there's anything we notice that we're like, actually, you could really benefit from doing that.
Exactly.
It will make it so much better. And to go back to where we came from, make a packing list so you know what you're taking. But as you're doing the practice setup, because there's things that you don't think about when you're actually packing. Blue tack, tape, scissors, always scissors. If you've got stands that need to be put together, do you have a screwdriver? Are you going electric? Are you going manual? You know, just those things that you tend to forget about. Those things come up when you're doing a practice setup.
And don't forget like a little first aid kit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, painkillers and plasters.
Absolutely. They'll
fix so much. Don't leave home without them.
Okay, moving on. Preparation, the other stuff. The things that you don't think about. First of all, take an assistant.
Highly recommend it. To have somebody there with you for a few reasons. First of all, they can stay with your stand when you need to move your car once you've taken, once you've taken all your things.
If you need the toilet, someone else there.
Exactly. If you need to take a break, there's somebody else there. Sometimes customers might come and ask you about some of your products. And your assistant can then take payments or serve other customers, especially if you're doing customized products. people do come and chat to you about that. So to have somebody else there that can take payments and take the other transactions and talk to other customers, super, super helpful. It's also extra security on the stand.
Yeah.
And it's just somebody else to just be
share
with.
the experience with. Yeah,
Exactly.
So we highly recommend having an assistant.
I would say it verges on the essential.
Yes, I would say so. Take something to do that keeps your hands busy but you accessible. Now, if you've probably been to a market, or you've definitely been to a shop, and you've been walking around and you can feel the owner of that shop or whoever's working there looking at you, watching you look at the product, and it's so intimidating, and it makes you just want to get out of there. You don't want to look at the products, and you definitely don't want to buy because you feel like you're being watched. So what we've found, and we've spoken to other vendors, what they've found helpful is doing something to keep their hands busy. So if your product is knitted product, go ahead and knit.
Well, even if they're not, if you have a little hobby, if you do knit, then go ahead and sit there knitting. We would say don't be on your phone.
Yeah, don't be on your phone.
Absolutely not.
Take pen and paper, doodle, write, whatever you want to do, but just something so you're not staring down your customers, because it's quite scary, but something that keeps you accessible, something that you can put down within an instant.
Being on the phone specifically makes people feel like you're quite disconnected and that they can't interrupt what you're doing.
There's a huge difference. It's weird. There's a huge difference between you being on your phone or you writing something.
Or even reading a book can feel a little bit like they don't want to interrupt what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're just doodling or scribbling or, and keep looking up and, just check if you need anything, just greet them. And if you need anything, I'm here, give me a shout. Just let people know that you're accessible without being overbearing.
Exactly. We're just trying to avoid the yeah. Okay. And pack your car safely. We don't want anything toppling out when you open up the doors. We know you said I know we said take as much stock as you can, but not to the point where you're going to hurt yourself if you open the door.
Also, pack your car sensibly. So if you're going to use a trolley, to move your things around, make sure the trolley is where it's the first thing that you take out.
Yeah, like the trolley, the table, those immediate things you tend to put out first. Make sure they are right where you can get to them, rather than putting them in first and not being able to get to them until you've taken out like a bajillion boxes. And bajillion, yeah. And then fill up the car, check the oil, check the water, etc. Just make sure that you've done everything you can
before, not on the day,
to ensure that you will get there on time if anything goes wrong.
That you have no need to panic.
Yes.
I mean, filling up the car, these are not things that people necessarily think about because you're so focused on your stand and your products and the event that you don't think about these things. So that's top tip.
Absolutely. Do it the day before. Make sure that you don't have anything else to worry about.
Exactly.
Research the parking options and what payments they take. Is it cash? Is it an app? Is it card? And have that ready so you avoid wasting time and making yourself panic.
When you're parking, yeah.
Exactly.
For sure. Maybe take a little bit of all those options.
Yeah.
So that you're always prepared.
And get a good night's sleep. Be rested. Again, it just stops you stressing. Everything feels better when you've had a good night's sleep. So if you need to go to bed earlier, do that.
Because vending is hard work. It's hard work in the preparation. It's hard work on the day. So a good night's sleep is definitely super, super helpful.
Exactly. I was going to add something onto this as well. Leave a slight bit earlier than you think you need to. So on the day when you are traveling, leave an hour earlier, just in case something goes wrong, you're not panicking. It's better to be there early and wait around for a little bit.
Like road closures.
Yeah.
There's
stuff
all
that you
sorts
just
accidents. All sorts
not in your control.
That slow you down.
Exactly. Perfect. And preparation part 2, dress for success. I love that. So what we mean by that is dress comfortable. You're going to be up, you're going to be moving about, you're going to be in these clothes all day for a very long time. So
probably going to be on your feet for a lot of it.
And also comfortable in terms of not something that will make you worry about your physical appearance? Do you feel like mentally comfortable in the outfit as well? Is this something you enjoy wearing? Do you feel like yourself? Because all of those things, again, it stops you stressing, stops you panicking, which makes a better experience for your customers. Layers, because temperature, it's a wild thing. You can be hot one second, cold the next. So if you've got something with layers so that you can manage all those temperatures, that's fantastic.
And then branding, excuse me, not just necessarily wearing something with your logo on it, but if you sell
a wearable
products, wear them.
it.
Exactly. Help people imagine it on themselves. Help people imagine how they would use or.
It's the difference between something hanging on a hanger and seeing it on an actual person.
And it's also they know then whether you believe in your own product.
Yeah.
You know, are you proud of what you're selling? Are you proud of what you've created?
And that applies to all sorts. If you do hair accessories, jewelry, not just hoodies and t-shirts, etc. Do you do patches? Have you got some on your jacket? Do you do pins? Have you got some on a lanyard or a jacket or anywhere you can fit them?
Exactly.
Pack plenty of water, lunch and snacks. It's a long day vending. You're up in the morning setting up, and then you've got a whole day talking with people. So make sure that you are fueled.
And take things that are easy to eat between serving customers. Yeah, that you're not chewing, you know, trying to get things swallowed down when somebody comes to see you. So like grapes.
You've not got stuff all over your hands.
Exactly.
Those types of things that you can like take and eat.
In small bites.
Stuff that you probably take on a picnic is probably a good judge of that. And
I think it's supposed to say avoid messy food. Avoid messy food.
Well, either one
way. No messy food.
Yeah, you don't want stuff all over your fingers and then you've got to talk to someone and point something out and it's just a bit gross.
Exactly.
Same with smelly foods. You know, you're talking with your customers. You don't want to scare them off.
So, you know, no tuna sandwiches. For example, tuna mayo sandwiches would be, I'd say
the
last
thing cheese
you want
and onion crisps.
Yeah.
Keep it.
Prawn cocktail.
Yeah.
All those lovely things.
Stick with things that you know won't make your breath smell and stay hydrated. Drink lots of water. Take care of yourself, because if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of your customers.
Exactly. Beautifully said.
Thank you. And preparation after.
Pack up carefully but efficiently. We've already covered this. You know, it's easy to just throw things in and then products get damaged. Yeah. Check your space before you leave and make sure you've left it the same condition, if not better than what you found it. Take your rubbish with you, or make sure you know where the rubbish needs to go.
Yeah.
If you've stuck stuff on the wall, make sure you've taken the blue tack off. Just leave things really clean and neat and tidy, the way you'd like to find it.
Yeah, exactly. It's also, so we've covered take your rubbish away with you or place it in the bins provided. You know, sort the rubbish, whatever you need to do with it. And also, if they provide tables or chairs, usually they're collapsible, so fold them up and just lean them against the wall or lean them on the floor, whatever they've told you to do, because that will help them clear up faster as well. It's just that being polite,
good etiquette,
being a good vendor. That is all for day 2. The next subject we will be tackling is
marketing.
A very big, very exciting topic, which is pretty important in this day and age. So we will see you day 3. Bye.
Bye.